Welcome to today's land auction via AuctionCast, the most informative method to buy and sell land at auction. I'm your host, Tyler Tissue, and I'm joined on my left by Alex Wayne, our auction manager here today, and Craig Borchard with Ascent Financial. Craig, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Sure, Tyler. My name's Craig Borchard. I'm the consulting director at Ascent Financial. And at Ascent Financial, we help farmers and agribusinesses with transition and estate planning and help advise them on transactions.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to hearing from you here later in the show. Today, we'll be selling the Gerster Farm. This is 141.2 acres located in Dakota County, Minnesota. There is one tract with a CPI of 52.9. For those of you who aren't familiar, we like to do what we call the land market update. This is where we try to inform you as far as what is happening currently in the market, so that way you as buyers and possibly sellers can be updated in what is currently happening right now. And the first one we have from a regional standpoint is in Tama County, Iowa, my home state. There were 73 acres that sold for $21,000 per acre, and not too far away, Lyon County, Iowa, 80 acres that sold for $20,000 per acre. Great sales. Now, I want to point out the Lyon County one was a 67 CSR2. So not super high, but it still sold for $20,000 per acre. So that tells me that market is still very strong right there in Lyon County. Next, we're going to the Show Me State. Montgomery County, Missouri. 68 acres, sold for $19,800 per acre, and it's a 70.1 NCCPI. So not a super strong soil one on that one, but still sold for $19,800 per acre. A very strong sale right there in the state of Missouri. Now we're coming back to Minnesota. Brown County, 74 acres, $13,689 per acre. Then we're going over to Sibley County, Minnesota. 160 acres for $13,396 per acre. So very strong sales. We've had consistently a lot of these farms in that 90 CPI range selling in those $13,000 range that we've seen. So it's been a very strong market across Minnesota as we're seeing so far. Now we have a direct sale that comparison, one that we just sold here directly today, right here in Steele County, Minnesota, 256 acres, sold for $13,300 per acre, right on AuctionCast here at 10 o'clock here this morning. So very strong sales across the board that we're seeing. And we know that farm was like the 92, 93 CSR this morning, so very strong sale. And that was one of yours. So, I mean, let's talk about that farm a little bit there. That was a strong farm. Like I said, it was a grade A farm there, had lots of tile, had strong soils and everything else, sold for $13,300 per acre. So great sale, that you had this morning here for one of yours.
Yep, right on AuctionCast. It was great. It was a great sale. Very strong sale on a price per point.
Yeah.
It was low 90s average. One track was 92.3. The other one was right at 90, and it sold extremely well.
Well, and what's what we're still seeing? We're still seeing, despite any type of economic conditions, inflation, higher interest rates, whatever it may be, we're still seeing very strong sales across the board. There hasn't been any slowdown that we have seen, from any way, shape, or form for all the auctions that we do via AuctionCast either way.
Correct.
We do want to point out a few things we want to welcome all of our online bidders and point out a few things to all of our viewers. Make sure you are aware of the documents online that are posted about the farm. They are located in the Documents tab, and if at any time you'd like to bid by phone, have any technical issues, or have a question, please call the number on the screen. We have Alex Wayne, our auction manager, sitting right next to me. He's going to answer your questions or take your bids over phone, via text, or email. So let's get into this here, Alex. So as the auction manager, let's talk about some of the details about this Gerster farm and what you can maybe tell me a little bit about this farm that we're going to be auctioning off here today.
Yeah, so the thing that stands out to me first is the irrigation. It was new in 2007.
Yeah.
It irrigates 105 of the 125 tillable acres.
Yep.
So it's a high percentage. The well is 800 gallons per minute. It's 220 feet deep.
Okay.
Anytime you incorporate irrigation in a farm, it makes it that much more productive.
Sure. So, and let's explain that because, for those who aren't familiar with irrigated farms, what's kind of the difference between an irrigated farm compared to one that isn't irrigated, especially in a county like Dakota County?
Yeah, so you look at a year like last year, relatively dry. You throw water at it, you control a variable, right? Mother Nature is always going to rule the roost, but whenever you can, irrigation really makes a farm productive. The other thing about this farm is it's got a lot of tile in it. So where it needs tile, it's tiled, and it's tiled very well. It was system tiled on 80-foot centers, and then they actually split that down as well
Okay.
So there's areas that are very closely tight tiled. Just the production on this farm is it's just a very highly productive farm.
Well, and let's talk about, so, county averages wise, when doing some research on it, we saw corn was 190, bushels per acre, beans 54.8. How would this farm, in your opinion, end up yielding in comparison to those county averages, especially being irrigated?
Yeah, so it should exceed county averages exponentially, just because of the irrigation system. You can manage that water variability.
Yeah.
Well,
and just like you said here, last year we had a very dry year, right? So I mean, dry years, and if you can put the water to it, you're gonna beat everybody else who doesn't have that for sure.
Absolutely.
So next, let's talk about some of the access points on this thing. What kind of access points does this farm have for somebody who's a big operator, possibly?
Yeah, so there's a great driveway in the southwest corner. It's made for big equipment. You can easily get in and out of this farm. There's no doubt about it.
Okay. Now, why don't you tell me a little about the location? Is there any elevators here? I mean, any type of ethanol plants or anything like that going on with it?
Yeah. So you're not far from multiple grain markets. You've got the river bid, you've got the rail bid in Randolph. There's ethanol plants. There's South Metro. There's a lot of grain outlets, and they're all relatively easy to get to.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So I mean, so far we've got great irrigation here. We've got partially tiled. So this seems and
that's tiled well,
and it's tiled well. I mean, and what you're saying is this is definitely going to outproduce county averages. So this sounds like a very, very productive farm here that we're auctioning off today.
Absolutely.
One other thing, I guess we were talking about before was some of the fertilizer expenses. That's been paid or been done already at this point. Can you explain that a little bit for our buyers here today?
Yeah, so it's all in the documents tab too. So if you find yourself needing information, the well information's in the documents tab, irrigation's there, tiles there, soils are there, everything's there. So last fall, there was 4 tons of MAP spread on the farm, which is phosphorus. There was 6.32 tons of potash, which is potassium, and 0.9 tons of elemental sulfur, and we all know sulfur is extremely important in corn production.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's been spread for a successful crop already. That total dollars adds up to $9,475.70. That does need to be reimbursed to the seller.
Okay.
And that's all in the documents tab.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Alex, for all that information here. We're going to send this over to Greg, our auctioneer, and get this auction started.
Well, we want to welcome each and every one of you, the online bidders here today at our auction. I'm going to read the terms and the condition, and then we'll move right into the auction sale. The method of sale here, bidding will be dollars per acre, deeded acre, unless otherwise indicated by the auctioneer. Deeded acres may change because of the survey or other factors, in which case the total sales price will be adjusted to reflect that. Seller reserves the right to accept or reject any or all bids. The auction company and the seller reserve the right to preclude any person from bidding if there is any concern as to the person's credentials or fitness to bid or enter into a contract. The agency, Land Pros Real Estate LLC, and AuctionCast are representing the seller. The 2023 taxes will be paid by the buyer. The sale is subject to all easements, restrictions of record, covenants, and leases. Each bidder is responsible for conducting their own inquiries and due diligence efforts at their own risk concerning the subject property. All property is sold as is, where is, with no warranties. The closing date will be honored before April 4th, 2023. Contracts and title. Immediately upon the conclusion of the auction, the highest winning bidder will enter into a real estate contract purchase agreement and provide funds for earnest money to be deposited with the real estate and the auction company. Seller will provide updated abstract or owner titles policy and will clear at their own expense. You will get a clear title or you won't own it. Sale is not contingent upon buyer's financing. Terms and possession, $50,000 down today, non-refundable. On this day of the auction, balance is due on or at closing on April 4th, 2023. There will be a 2% buyer's premium added to the bid price, which will give you the total purchase price. Previous operator will need to be reimbursed unless he has leased the farm for the 2023 growing season. So that is your option. You can either lease it to him, or you can pay him back. Contact Alex Wayne about the potential operator lease. Any statement made day of auction takes precedence over previous material. All information provided herein was obtained from sources deemed reliable, but neither the auction company nor the seller guarantees its accuracy. So those are the terms and the conditions of this auction. I'd like to say something about this farm. It's a perfect farm to own. If it rains too much, you've got your wonderful, wonderful tile everywhere. If it doesn't rain enough, you've got your irrigation. This is the kind of farm it should produce 240, 50 bushel corn every single year, no matter what the weather is. So with that being said, we do have a starting bid today, and we're going to go from there. We've got $5,000 to start it. Who'd give $6,000? That's per acre. $5,000. Who'd give $6,000? Hot $6,000 bid. $5 and now $6,000 now. Would you give $5 and now $6? Hot $5 and now $6,000 now. Would you give $5 and now $6,000? 241's in. Everybody is out, and we got a lot of online people looking here. So help yourself in this beautiful piece of property here today. We got $5,000 now. Who gives $6,000? $5,000 now. $6,000 now. Would you give $5 and now $6,000? $6,000. Even $5 and now $6,000 now. Would you give $5 and now $6,000 forward? $5,000 a bid. Now $6,000. Got $5,000 now, $6,000 now. Would you give $5 and now $6,000 bid for it? $5 now $6,000. Got $5 and now $6,000 now. Would you give $5 and now $6,000? Got $5 and now $6,000 now. Would you give $5 and now $6,000? $5,000 to bid. Now $6,000. Got $6,000 now. Would you give $5 and now $6,000 now? Would you give? How about $5,500? Let's try that. Who give $55? Got 55. Thank you. 50. I got 6,000. Now 7. Hot 6,000. Now 7. Hot 6,000. Now 7. 7. Now would you get 7? 7. Now would you get $7,000 bid? I got 6,000. Now 7,000. 241. You're out. Hot $7,000 now would you get 7? 7. Now would you get $7,000 bid for it? 6 and now 7,000. Hot 7 a bid to buy him. $7,000 now would you get 7,000? 6,000 now 7. Got 6,000 now 7. 7 and now 8. Hot 7 and now $8,000 on the floor. 7 and now 8. Hot 8, 8. Now would you give 8, 8. Now would an 8, 8. Now would an $8,000 bid for it. 7 and now 8,000. On bid 7,000. Now 8,000. Got $8,000 now would you give 8, 8. Now would an 8, 8. Now would an 8 for it. 263. You're out. 8,000. Now 9. Hot $8,000 now would a 9. Now would a 9, 9. Now would a 9. Now would you get 9, 9. But a 9 for it. $8,000 now would you get 9, 9. But a 9. But a 9. But a 9. Now would you get 9,000. $8,000 now would you get 9, 9. But a 9. But a 9. Would you get 9 for it. Out 8,000 to bid. Now 9. Hey, but a 9, 9. But a 9. But a 9. Would you get 9, 9. But a 9. But a 9. But help yourself here. 8,000. Now 9,000. Odd $8,000 now would you get 9, 9. But a 9. But a 9. Would you get 9 for it. Odd 8,000 now 9. 8,000 a bid now 9, 9. But a 9. But a 9. Would you get 9, 9. But a 9. But a 9 for it. Up at 8,000 and now 9. Odd 9, 9. But a 9. But a 9. But a 9 for it. Up at a 9, 9. But a 9. 241. You're out. Odd 9, 9. But a 9. But a 9 for it. Up at a 9. Would you get 9,000? 8,000 now 85. Thank you. Now 9. Odd 85 and now 9, but a 9, but a 9, forward, but a 9, would you get $9,000 bid for it? 85, now 9,000. Got $9,000 now, would you get 9, 9, but a 9, but a 9, now would you get 9, 9, but a 9 for it? 85, the bid now 9, now but a 95. Odd 95, would you get 95, would you get 95, would you get 95, would you get 95? I got 9,000, now 95. Odd 95, would you get 95, would you get 95, would you get $9,500 bid for it? 9,000, now 95. Odd 95, would you get 95, would you get 95, would you get 95? Odd $9,000 now 95. Got 95 to bid to buy him at a 95, would you get 95, would you get 95 for it? 9,000 is the bid. Now 95. At 95, would you get 95, would you get 95? Would you help yourself here on this real good piece of ground? Who'd give 95? At 95, would you get 95, would you get 95, would you get 95? Now would you get 95? 95, would you get 95, would you get 95? You know what we're going to do right now? We are going to have a little time off, a little recess. When you're buying a farm, it takes, you got to think about it. So we're going to give you a little time to think about it. And we're going to just have a quick break here and we'll be right back. We got 9,000 bid. So we'll be right back.
What if you had a place of your own where you could enjoy your family, friends, and all of your favorite pastimes? Compeer Financial offers recreational land loans for things like hunting, fishing, camping, or just a weekend getaway with friends and family. You can choose from hunting land loans, lake property loans, and even bear land loans, all tailored to fit your lifestyle. We'll provide long-term, fixed-rate financing that works best for you. It's a commitment we take personally. Together, we champion rural. Together, we are Compeer Financial.
Welcome back to AuctionCast. So just to recap here, we started off at $5,000 an acre here to start, went to $9,000, and over our break, we went to $10,200 per acre. So we've had some extremely spirited bidding. So very, very happy to see that. Brian's going to bring us a little more information here about this farm here later in this segment. But first, I want to turn over here to my colleague, Craig Borchert with Cent Financial. Craig, you've kind of built out some of the financials of this farm and how you would look at this as kind of an investor, or whatever it may be. Could you tell the audience a little bit what you came up with this farm?
Sure, Tyler. When we do the analysis on this, we kind of apply the Land Pros farm management methodology to it. So if you hired Land Pros to manage this farm, they would enter into a flex lease where the operator would pay a rent based off of the total production of the farm. So we estimate that purely based off the county yield averages, which we heard earlier. It sounds like they expect the farm would well exceed. We'd be looking at a rent of about $354.22 on that flex lease. And that turns into about a total return over 10 years of 13.89% per year. So a very strong return, But the other thing I wanted to talk about is how farmland has done historically. I have a chart that shows the last 50 years of farmland prices. And, but I think the more interesting chart is the next one that shows if you took $10,000 50 years ago, bought farmland, what's that worth today? And that's $202,000.
Yeah, that's quite the return.
A tremendous return over
absolutely.
That period of time. And that's pretty much the kind of average holding period for a lot of these sellers.
Yeah, no, that's very good returns. And that's why obviously, as we all know, they're not making any more land. Land has always continued to be a great investment. So whether you're buying now or whether you're buying tomorrow, you need to be buying in one way or another. So while we're waiting here, our bidding went from 10.2 to 10.4. So we're still getting bidding here, even during the break. But our auctioneer, Greg Jensen, he had to go get on the phone and help with some of these, and maybe even run some of these bids up. But now we have Sonny Jensen, his son, 3-generation auctioneer. He's going to take it from here. Sonny, take it away.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you what, we love those recesses. We went from 9,000 to 95, then we jumped up to 10,000. Now we're up to 10.4. And we got the A-OK. We're going to be selling the farm today. Just to clarify that, it's going to be gone. There's going to be a new owner. So we got 10.4 who give 10.5. I'm at 5 hit 500 down 10 here to 500 damn it at 5. New owner today at 10.5 6 here down 10 here to 6 hit 10.5 here $600 damn it at $600 damn it at 5 at 6 hit 10.5 6 here down $600 damn it at if you're thinking about doing it, click it. Hit $600 damn it at 5 here to 600 here to 5 6 here down $600 damn it at 10 6 hit $10,600 damn it at 5 at 6 hit 10.5 I'm at $6 damn it at $600 damn it at 5 at 6 hit 10.5 10.6 hit 10 here to 6 going to be a new owner. It's going to be a new owner today. I tell you what, if you're thinking about it, you hopped on here, you took the time, you're watching the sale today, you're thinking about buying it, you better do it here because it's going to be gone. There's going to be a new owner. 10.5 10.6 hit 10 here to here to 6 here down $600 damn it at 5 at 6 hit 10.5 I'm at 6 here down here to 6 here 7 hit 10.7 hit 10 here to $7 damn it at 700 down 10 here to 7 have it at 6 have it at 7 hit 10.6 I'm at $7 damn it at 700 down $700 down here down 7 here to 7 hit 10.6 here down $7 damn it at made and now 8 down $8 damn it at maybe at $800 damn it at beard and 7 at made and now 8 and now 800 down $8 damn it at maybe at 5 6 3 you're in and now 800 it's 7 800 damn it at $800 damn it at beard and 10 8 it's $10 damn it at made here to $8 here to 10 at made at 10 7 now $8 damn it at made at 10,700 10,800 at 10 $800 damn it at maybe at $100 damn it at made at 10,008 at $10,000 damn it at maybe at $8 damn it at maybe at made. What are you thinking? At 10,800 down $800 damn it at yes sir yes at 10,700 $800 damn it at maybe at made now 800 maybe at $100 damn it at made at 10,700 800 at 10,000 sound here down $7 damn it at maybe at $100 damn it at maybe at maybe at maybe at $8 damn it at made at 10,708 at 10,700 down $800 damn it at maybe at $100 new owner at 10,708 at 10,700 $800 damn it at maybe at $100 damn it at made. You don't want to not necessarily walk away from the sale, but log off the computer and say you didn't buy this farm. My dad tells everyone all the time, he says you don't want to have buyers or you're not, you don't want to walk away and say I should have bought that farm because We can't make you buy this farm, but you're going to regret if you don't buy this farm. Okay, we got 10,750, now 11,000. $11,000 damage at 11. $11,000 damage at $11,000 damage at 10, 7.5, now $11,000 damage at 11. $11,000 damage at 10, 8. At 10, 8, now 9. Have it at a 9. Have it at a 900. Down $900 damage at a 9. And now $9 damage at a here to down 10, 9, $9 damage at a maybe at a 9. And now 9. And now 900. Down $900 damage at a 9 at a $900 damage at a 9. And now 10, 8, now $9 damage at a maybe at a $9 damage at a 9 at a 900. Down 900, and now $9 damage at maybe at a $9 damage at a $9 at a $9 damage at a 9, and now 10, 9, and now 9, and now 900, down $900 damage at a maybe at a $9 damage at a 9, and now 900, down 9. What do you think? And now $900 damage at a maybe at a $900 damage at a maybe at a 9, and now 9, and now $900 damage at a maybe at 10,000, $900 damage at a 9, at 10,000, $8 down, $9 down, $8 down, $8 down, $9 at a $900 damage at a 9, and now 9, and now $900 damage at a 9, have it at a 9 at a 10, 8, now $9 damage at a 9, $9 damage at a 9 at a click the clicker, and now $9 damage at a $8 down, $9 down, here down, $8 down, here to $9 at a 9, and now 10, 9, and now $9 damage at a maybe at a $900 damage at a 9 at a 9, and now 10, 9, have it at a $10,000 damage at a 9, now $9 damage at a maybe at a $900 damage at a here to 9 at a 900. I think we're going to take a little recess and then we'll be right back. We're going to sell it, but we're going to take a little recess and be right back.
Welcome back to AuctionCast, everybody. So once again, to recap here, we have had some extremely spirited bidding so far. Start with $5,000 an acre, went to $9,000, then 10-1, and now we're all the way up to $10,800 per acre here. So I wanted to talk to Brian Haugen, who joined us here shortly ago. Let's talk about a little more details about this farm, and maybe some of these buyers that are held up, and aren't really sure, whether they want to buy this farm. Maybe we can give them a little more information to make that extra $100 bid to make that purchase of this farm.
Yeah, thanks, Tyler. So all of you watching, we have a long list of registered bidders here, and a long list of many different contending bidders, along with our winning bidder right now, number 10,002.
Mm-hmm.
So as we've gone into break, of course this is online and virtual, so we have folks bidding, and even since we've gone to break here, we've gone up. We got 10,850 is the current bid. Now, if you're not paddle number 10,002, everyone, you are out. So we're asking for 10.9. But to get back into this, we're going to talk a little bit about the farm, the agronomy attributes of the farm. This farm, of course, we talked about the irrigation.
Yep.
Very important. If we look over in your documents tab, you can see the max NVDI. So what that is satellite imagery, Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
And all of you watching can follow along with that. This is a very even crop as we look over the years. We have data all the way back to 2017. So we have 6 years worth of NDVI satellite imagery. So that shows the evenness of the farm. And that comes with irrigation, right? Because in low rain years, irrigation is going to help keep that crop more even. And then when it does rain, of course, then rain supplies that moisture for that crop. Very important, and I think it's reflected in the price. It's reflected with all these bidders bidding.
Yep.
I
think everybody knows this is going to be a very, very well producing farm year after year after year.
You know what else they say? Location, and then they say location, and then they say location, right?
Absolutely.
That's important on this farm. All the folks watching online here understand where this farm is located.
Yeah.
This farm has access to many grain markets. We have the rail spur right next door.
Mm-hmm.
We have major highways to carry this grain up to the river terminals. I think Alex and you talked about this
we sure
briefly.
did. Yep.
We also have ethanol very close. The area has turkey production through the roof. We have the corn goes for turkey, and there's also a lot of hogs. So there's a lot of competition for this grain in this area. And that's really important when you're looking at farms. That's what really stuck out at me, how even this farm has performed over 6 years of satellite imagery, plus the location. It's always location when it comes to real estate. And this one checks the boxes. And I think we could all look here and agree that with the bidding and with the prices we're at, I think it's showing.
Absolutely. So. Well, thank you very much, Brian. We're going to send this right back to our auctioneer, Sonny Jensen, and it sounds like we're going to get this farm sold.
All right, here we go. So we did have 10.8. Now we got 8.50. Who'd give 900 at 10,009? Have it at a $900, damn it, at a beard at $900, damn it, at maybe at a have it at a 9, and now 10.9, and now 50, and now $950, damn it, at a $50, damn it, at $950, damn it, at a beard at 10.9, now $50, damn it, at a $1, damn it, at 50, and $950, damn it, at a have it at a beard at $950, $50, damn it, at a beard at 10,000, $950 at 10,009, now 50 at 10,009, damn it, at a $50, damn it, at a beard at $950, down $950, 5, 6, 3s in, you got to do it, and now $950, damn it, at a beard at 10,950. $50, damn it, at a $50, damn it, at a $950 at 10,950. There's going to be a new owner at 10,000, damn it, at a nab it at a half, damn it, at a have it at a beard, damn it, at a half at 10,950, 50, 50, damn it, at a 50, damn it, at a beard, 50, damn it, at a beard, 50 at 10,950, damn it, at a 50, damn it, at a now 10, now 11 grand, and now 11,000, damn it, at 11, 11,000, damn it, at 11, have it at 11,000, damn it, at a beard, 11,000, 11,000, damn it, at a beard, 10, 9.5. You got to be 11, 11,000, 11,000, damn it, at a beard, 11,000, damn it, now 11, now 11, now 11, now 11,000, now 11, and now 11, and now 11,000. Now, if you're on the button, you might as well click 11. Now 11, 1, 11, 1, 11, 1, 100, David, bond, 11, 1, 100, David, bond, 11, 1, David, bond, 100, David, bond, 100, David, 11,000, 11, 1, 11, 100, down 11, 100, David, bond, and now 11, 1, and now 11, 100, David, bond, 100, here to bond, 100, David, bond, 11,000, 11, 1, 1150, now 1, 1150, down 100, David, bond, 1150, 100, David, bond, 100, David, bond, now 1, now 50, and 150, David, 50, David, bond, now 150, David, 1150, 11, 150, 11, 150, David, 11, 1, 11, 150, 11, 150, David, 50, David, 11, 150, David, 50, David, 11, 150, 11, 150, down 11, 100, 50, 50, David, 11, 150. You know, you're thinking about buying a farm, and what's 50 more bucks over a whole bunch of years? You know, you're buying a farm. It's $50 more an acre. That shouldn't be stopping you. You're buying a farm. So give me 11,150. 11,150. Down an EBITDA beard 11,150. Head to it here 11,150. 1150. It's only 50 more bucks. 11,150. Down 11,150 here $50. $50 EBITDA beard 11,150. And now 11,150. 11,150. Down an EBITDA beard 150 here $50. EBITDA 11,1. 11,150. 11,150. Down an EBITDA beard 150 here $50. $50 EBITDA beard 11,150. 11,1. Now 50 down 50 down an EBITDA beard 11,150 here $50. EBITDA 11,150. Head to it 11,150. 11,150 new owner 11,150 down an EBITDA beard 11,150 head to it here 11,150 11,150 50 50 down an EBITDA beard 11,150 head to it here 11,150 down $50 EBITDA beard 11,150 11,150 11,150 11,150 here $50 $50 EBITDA beard 11,150 here $50. I think we're going to take another short recess and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to AuctionCast, everybody. So just to recap here, we start at $5,000 an acre, and now we're all the way up to $11,100 per acre. So we've continued to have spirited bidding throughout this entire thing here. And you know, right now it seems like we're a little stuck here. We're asking for $50, $11,150 an acre here. So we've got obviously, you know, some very, very interested buyers. We've got some, you know, some very spirited online bidding that's going on right now. But Brian, I mean, what can we talk about? I mean, what can we say here about what's going to help these guys get this over? I mean, because right now when we recap on this thing, we think about this farm here. We've got an irrigated farm here that's pattern tiled here, that has great access, that has great location, just like you said, location. I mean, it literally has about everything here that an operator could want, you know, to go and buy from you. You're an operator. I mean, you've done this type of stuff. I mean, what would stop any from wanting to buy this farm here and spend the extra $50 an acre here?
Well, good points, Tyler. We talked about all those good things about this farm, and obviously the bidding has proven the status of this farm.
Sure. Yep.
Great farm, great location. I don't think we can beat that one anymore. That is truth, in fact. And what we have now here is we're going into our last and final break.
Mm-hmm.
The farm is going to go to a new owner today. The sellers have removed any type of reserve, just so everyone's aware. We want to make sure everyone has enough time. Like we said, this is one of the longest lists I have looked at recently with registered bidders. Mm-hmm. The number of contending bidders. Of course, paddle number 10,011 is the winning bidder right now at 11,100. We have a long list of contending bidders, and we just want to make sure you have just enough time. You want to think about this. You want to make a call. You want to make sure we want to give enough time. But I'm going to let you know we are going to be selling this farm. There will be no more recesses, and the seller has confirmed there'll be a new buyer today.
Excellent, Brian. Well, thank you very much here. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to send it right back to our auctioneer, Sonny Jensen here, and we're going to get this farm sold this time.
Ascent Financial is your local expert for farm transition planning. Whether you're transitioning your farm to the next generation, looking for an outside successor, or simply want to retire, families and businesses can choose from our wide range of solutions. If you need help with transition planning, wealth management, or insurance planning, Ascent Financial is here to support you and your legacy.
Well, just coming back from this recess, we got 11,150 now, but I'd like to say we're not going to take a whole lot much longer. We're going to sell the farm. It's going to be gone. We've give you plenty of time to think about it, to click the button, to buy it. So we're going to sell it. It's going to be gone. And I'll give you just, I don't know, a couple more minutes, and she's going to be gone. All right. So contending bidder, you are out. We got 11,150. Who'd give 11,200? $11 debit at 2. Down $200 debit at $200 debit at 11,150. Down 2 at 200. Down $200 debit at 50 at 250. There you go. At $250 debit at Beard and $250 debit at Beard at 50. Down 11,250. 11,250 down and debit at 50. Down and debit at Beard and 11,250. 11,250 debit at Beard and $50 debit at Beard and 11,250. 11,200 $50 debit at Beard and 11,2. 11,2 and a half. 11,2 debit and a half debit at Beard and 11,2 $50 debit at Beard 11,2 and a half. 11,2 and a half debit at Beard and 11,2 debit and a half debit at here and 3. Down $300 debit at 3. 11,2 and a half. 3. 11,2 debit and a half debit at here and 3. $300 debit at 3 and 3. At 300 down 3. Down $300 debit at Beard and 50. Down $350 debit at Beard and 3 and a half. At 11,350 down $50 debit at Beard 11,3 and a half debit at a half at Beard 11,350. 11,350 down $50 debit at Beard 11,3 and a half debit at 11,3 and a half. 11,3 and a half debit at here 11,300 now 50 at 350 down $350 debit at Beard 11,3. No more recesses after this one, so you better hop on now. 11,3 and a half debit at Beard and 3 debit at a half debit at 11,3 and a half debit at a half. 11,350 down $50 debit at Beard 11,3 debit at a half debit at here and 3 and a half debit at here and 3 and a half. 11,3 and a half. What do you think? 11,350 debit at Beard and 3 debit at a half debit at here and 350 debit at Beard and 3 debit at a half. 11,3 and a half debit at Beard and 3 debit at a half debit at here and 350 down 3 and a half debit at Beard and 3 and a half. 11,350. I'll give you about 30 more seconds. Then you got to hop on and we're going to sell it. 11,3 and a half debit at Beard and 3 debit at a half debit at here at 11,300. 350. Yep, 350 debit at Beard and 3 debit at a half debit at here and 350 debit at Beard and 350. 11,350 debit at Beard and 11,000 debit at Beard and 3 debit at here and 50 debit at Beard and 11,350. 11,350 debit at Beard and 11,300 now 50. 11,300 now 50. 11,000 debit at Beard and 3 debit at a half debit at here and 350 debit at 50. 11,350 debit at Beard and 350 debit at Beard and 350. 11,350 debit at Beard and don't be a quitter. 11,350 down 11,000 debit at Beard and 350 debit at Beard and 11,350. Sold $11,300. Thank you a lot, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to turn it back over to the desk, and thank you very much.
Wow, what an auction right there! That was a heck of an auction. It really was. We start off at $5,000 an acre here. We went all the way up to $11,300 per acre. We took multiple breaks here in this one, but it just kept on going up. So tremendous auction here. I want to come over here, Craig. So, Craig, what did you have? Breaking down this farm here, from a financial standpoint, how does this look? After a strong sale like this.
Sure, Tyler. Looking at this selling at 11,300, that works out to be about 12,993 per tillable acre, which is a pretty strong number, and then total price of just over 1.6 million.
Wow, yeah, tremendous sale, absolutely tremendous sale. So I would like to thank all of our bidders that participated today, and we'd especially like to thank our sellers for trusting us to auction off your property as well. Alex will be in touch with you shortly with our buyers as well. I do want to point out we have some auctions coming up tomorrow, February 22nd at 10 a.m. We have 82 acres in Dodge County, Minnesota. And then at 2 p.m., we have 40 acres in Steele County, Minnesota. That's right here on AuctionCast. So make sure you tune in tomorrow if you're an investor looking for a farm. And folks, if you're thinking about buying or selling, Keep Land Pros at the top of your list. You can connect with our team at landpros.com or the number on your screen at any time. Thanks again for joining us here at Land Pros Auction Cast, and have a great rest of your day.